Hey guys, press the bell icon and never miss a video from Aola DIY. Hey guys, so today I'll be teaching you all how to make this beautiful altered mixed media embroidery hoop. And embroidery hoops have always been my favorite. I love altering them. Initially I used to alter them in shabby chic style with laces and blings, and now I like altering them in mixed media style. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm taking my hoop and I'm tracing a circle, and to prepare my hoop I have colored it with some white gesso. And this paper which I'm using is a very old collection of Prima called Debutante, and I like using all my old papers. I generally try to use everything which is there in my stash. So you can see that I'm adding the paper on the base of the hoop, and after that I'll select a stencil, and using a texture paste I'm gonna apply the texture. So the one which I've selected right now is by Memory Crafts. It's a very old collection, and I'm using light paste by Finnabair, and using a spatula I'm going to apply the paste on the top of my stencil so that the texture shows up. So once this is done, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take some embossing powder, and the one which I'm using is by Lindy's Gang, and while the paste is still wet I'm going to apply my embossing powder, and you can clearly see that the entire texture of the stencil is now showing up because we have added a dark color on top of it, and this is really important. Like, it looks very beautiful. After that, what I am doing is, again, the paste is still wet. I've taken some glass glitter, and this is by Prima Finnabair range, and believe me guys, this glass glitter is amazing. I'm adding it on my hoop, and then using my heat gun I'm going to dry it. Now let's emboss some frames which we can use for our embroidery hoop. These frames are by Dusty Attic, and I'll try to link down all the materials which I have used in the description box below. And again, using the same embossing powder which we used for our background, I'm going to be heat embossing it. And for heat embossing, what you need is basically a heat tool, some embossing powder, and a sticky ink. So here what I'm doing is that I've taken two shades of embossing powder, a maroonish shade and a brownish shade, which I'm going to again mention down the exact name below. And I've combined both the embossing powders. This would basically give it a very nice shaded effect. And here you can see that I'm trying to apply and see what my composition would look like with these frames. And this part is pretty much self-explanatory. Once my frames are ready, what I will do is that I'm going to lock down the background using some clear gesso. This would dry as transparent, and all my embossing powder and my chunky glitter would be kind of locked down and it won't come out. So after this is done, what I'm doing is that I've taken some 3D gloss gel. Again, this is transparent, and this is basically used to adhere small things. For example, in this case what I'm doing is that I've taken ample amount of stones, art stones, and I am trying to just paste it on top of my embroidery hoop. So this is very important because 3D gloss gel is has a very nice adhesive power, and it will stick the art stones very nicely, as well as anything which you try to stick on it. So 3D gloss gels is basically used if the material which you're trying to stick is very 3D, whereas there's another one called soft gel which is used when you want to adhere something which is little too much 2D. Okay, so after this is done, what I'm doing is that I'm sprinkling some paints, and again I'm using a mixture of paints by Prima Marketing. The one which you can see on the screens are the shades of brown in their Color Bloom range and their Sparks and acrylic paint range. So the way I do it is that I sprinkle my paint, and then I always keep a water spray bottle besides me, and then I try to dilute the intensity of the color with water, because to give it a very natural look, you really need to dilute the intensity. So you can clearly see what I am doing right now, and once the the clear gesso is dry, you will see the texture which we made in the beginning will show up very nicely. I'm pretty much satisfied with my background, so what I'm going to do is now add colors to the rim of my embroidery hoop. And what I'm using to give a very nice texture is a rust paste. These pastes, again by Finnabair, are really good. So basically all the art ingredients which you get from Prima are pre-made for you, and they kind of make your work easier, because I clearly remember earlier I used to take fine grained sand and add some color to it just to make my own rust paste. This really saves a lot of time. So once I'm done adding my rust paste, I'm going to neutralize my entire canvas because everything looks very dark. So to neutralize it, what I'm doing is that I'm taking some white gesso, dabbing it with a dab brush by Finnabair, and I'm applying it all over my canvas. Now after neutralization, what I'm doing is that I'm taking some black gesso in a toothbrush, and using a toothbrush I'm going to spray it all over my canvas. This is the whole process of making a background, and trust me guys, with all these small little things, your background is going to look super pretty. Now comes the most interesting part, which is basically assembling all my embellishments on my layout. So I'm going to raise the volume up because this part is again very self-explanatory, and you can see what I'm doing with this hoop. Once I'm satisfied with all the elements which I have to put on my project, I neutralize the whole look using some white gesso. This basically helps in blending all the elements with each other, and in the end you will see that I'm adding some more glass glitter on top of my flowers. And for this I'm using soft matte gel, which as I mentioned before can be used if you want to adhere glitter. And once this is done, I'll go on for clicking nice pictures of my projects. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I have enjoyed making it. If you did, please don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.